This video is meant to outline the basics of a number of builds that I personally anticipate will remain strong going into next league. I would really like to emphasize that this is before even a hint of patch notes for 3.15. So, if you are watching this after the patch notes have been revealed and something on this list has been absolutely decimated by nerfs, whoops, that was unexpected. That said, even before a single drop of the delicious patch note stew has graced our communal tongues, people clamor on my stream for builds to play and characters to build and plays to characterize, and maybe not that last one. So, this is the more in-depth answer than wait for patch notes that people really do seem to crave, despite the fact that until patch notes arrive, I cannot guarantee a single thing on this list. Toxic Rain Ballista Hybrid, you'll see what I mean. This is a playstyle that I've league started with recently, see Ritual League, and I really ended up enjoying it more than I thought I would going in. It was meant to merely be a means to an end, to take advantage of the buffs to Ballistae that were implemented that league, and then rather swiftly forgotten, it sometimes feels, and it shines despite the Toxic Rain nerfs that were implemented the league directly after. This is because this build didn't really have much in the way of area of effect scaling in the first place, so the kneecapping of AoE as a scaling mechanism for Toxic Rain is relatively unimportant, and in fact frees up a couple affixes and a handful of passive points for other investment in the build. The version that I played was a champion, but you could just as well do this with a raider. And sorry if you hear my dog taking a drink in the background, but this is a really good take so far, so I don't want to get rid of it. The basic concept here is that you make use of two separate Toxic Rain setups. One which is self-cast or self-attacked, whatever term you want to use, and the other which is stuck onto some totems, thus allowing you the comfortable clear of a self-attack setup and a generous portion, if not all, of the single target that a pure totem setup would allow. I may very well be starting with the Raider version of this next league for myself. This build has extremely good mitigation, especially the champion version, and some solid avoidance, though leans heavily on avoidance as Raider and heavily on mitigation as champion. It's also easy to reach good endgame single target damage numbers. As some cons, though, it's hard to push truly excellent single target, and you do lack some recovery in single target situations as well until you can get some influenced gear. The next one is Earth Shatter, though this is kind of a stand-in for any and all slams, but Earth Shatter specifically because it's one of my favorite skills. This is one that might draw some ire, perhaps some disbelief, maybe even some outright anger. I may be fanboying for one of my favorite skills here, as Earth Shatter is certainly in my top 3, but I believe wholeheartedly that slams will not be torn to ribbons next league, as some seem to think, or perhaps hope. I agree enthusiastically that they are quite powerful, and even too powerful in a few cases, but GGG does not have a track record of nerfing builds solely because they are powerful. Often, the absolute power level of a build or skill is only one puzzle piece that determines whether something is worthy of the nerf hammer, and Earth Shatter has a number of things going for it that will, I think, allow it to remain relatively unharmed. Firstly, despite slams being as powerful as they are, particularly in a hardcore setting, melee as a whole has historically gotten the short end of the meta stick. So I think there's likely some trepidation on GGG's part to attack the part of the melee meta that is performing the best. Additionally, grinding gear does seem to have a soft spot for builds that have a high input requirement, as in the more buttons you gotta press, the more likely you'll avoid significant nerfs. Things like Cremation, Bladefall, Blade Blast, and Slams have been powerful for a long time, and I believe it is in part due to the fact that the playstyle these builds encourage are simply the direction Grinding Gear Games is interested in taking the game. So yeah, I think Earth Shatter and its ilk are here to stay. Summon Holy Relic. I had to put at least one in here that wasn't blindingly obvious or just a call for contention in the comments section. Summoners have always been a mainstay of league starts, and I doubt that will be changing come 3.15. With Holy Relic, I wanted to throw my 2 cents in on a summoner build that I feel often flies under the radar, with many people wondrous at the fact that Relic can even do damage the last time I played this build. Necromancer is the easiest way to get things rolling, as gem levels are very important for Holy Relics. And before you get your Geoffrey's Legacy to double your relics, consider running some zombies and a helmet with +2 minion gems for some extra beef. Honestly, keeping these zombies on a separate 4-link somewhere else in the build, maybe some Elder Fortify support boots for a 5-link, is a great idea in the endgame anyways. Holy Relic is the smoothest summoner build I've ever played, with the immediacy of the relic damage being a thing of beauty, especially once you've got a pair of them following you around. The best part is that 0 uniques are required aside from the Prophecy upgraded helmet, and the Prophecy is pennies just a few days into the league. I'll have an example path of building in the description to get you going, as I will for all of these builds. Last on this list is Dot Elementalist. This one is less tried and true for me than the others, as I haven't actually given it a go as a league starter yet myself. But it is included on this list so I can shamelessly plug my stream, as I'll be practicing league starting this for the next couple of days. So you can stop by to see how it's going in real time, using the link in the description below. Thank you. Also, I doubt any of the constituent pieces will individually draw nerfs, because despite the fact that Elementalist did see quite a bit of play this last league due to the popularity of Fireburst, I doubt GGG would put Elementalist into their crosshairs specifically rather than the Essence mod itself or some other aspect of the build. The reason I'm going for Elementalist over the more classical Occultist here, by the way, for Cold Dot that is largely due to a preference for life-based builds. I don't really enjoy playing Energy Shield ones, and my belief that Elementalist handles the deficiencies of a life-based Cold Dot build better than her spookier counterpart, largely thanks to the free ailment immunity and buttload of recovery that can be gained off of Golem scaling with a friendly neighborhood stone golem. I'm certain enough of the choice to practice for it for myself, so it seemed worth a mention. As with the others, a path of building will be in the description below. Thank you for watching the video. If you're from the future, leave a comment letting me know how well I did at predicting what would avoid the nerf hammer, or bullying me for being atrociously wrong. If you're from the present, just remember, life is a gift, each day is precious, so you've made a mistake wasting some of your time here. See you in the next video.